Okay, we'll get the webinar started here right after I finish filling out this job application here. Right there. Just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna apply for this job. Just kidding, having a little fun. Hey guys, welcome to the daily strategy session. Seems like we're getting low attendance this week because the webinar link died last week with the events. I had to extend it out and it seems like it's not sending invites. So sorry for you guys that have to catch the webinar, but catch the replay. But if you're not getting those invites, I think something's just going on. Just know that the link is always at insiderealestate.com/webinars, and I will always do my best. We'll do our best to record these for you and post the links right here where it says strategy session webinar replays. If you have any comments or questions today, as usual, just hit up the chat button and I'll do my best to get to you. Again, small crowd, so I should be able to get to everybody pretty quickly. Yesterday, why isn't it there? Yesterday we talked about a Google campaign. Why it's not there? Let me go get the video. We talked about this idea of doing a Google campaign that runs outside of your area. So basically, I ran a video ad on YouTube that ran outside of my market, which is in Florida, and then it targeted California. Now, this could work for anybody in any market, as I mentioned yesterday. But this example, this specific example, kind of talked about a reason why people might be leaving California and reasons why they should come to my area. And I think in general, this is kind of a cool template that we can all use. So I just want to share the results of that campaign here with you guys today. I'm getting somebody saying they can't hear me too well. Are other people having issues hearing me? Let me see if I can tweak my mic up. Tweak my mic up there. Sometimes Zoom just glitches out. Maybe it had a glitch, Kelly. Okay, great. Thanks, Bob. Oh, Bob, I forgot to email you. I'm so sorry. You posted your info. Just post me your email address, and I think I replied to a ticket you had. But I meant to email you right after the session yesterday, so sorry about that. I do remember what you were asking about, though, so I'll try to get you today. So that campaign, I'll just show everybody to remind, because we didn't have a lot of attendance. But basically, the results of that campaign, it was a video ad shown on YouTube, and it's been running for about a day, right? It probably didn't get approved till last night. It spent $30. Assume you guys can see my screen. Yep. Spent $30. The average cost per view was 5 cents. So remember, with a video ad, a view is somebody who watches the video for 25 seconds. I think it's 25. It might be 30 seconds, but it's not that they it just popped up. It's that they actually engaged with the video, which is really cool. And just for reference, in case you're just jumping into this, the ads that I'm talking about are those fun ads that show up right before you watch a video. And I actually have YouTube Premium, so I don't see the ads anymore. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? You're on YouTube, you're trying to watch something, and then it shows you an ad before you see it. So before you see the video you want to see. So 5 cents for a view. Somebody watched it. I got 1,800 impressions, which means it started to play 1,800 times. 693 engagements. That might mean it. That means that they watched for more than 4 or 5 seconds. There's like a 5-second threshold. So a lot of people just got rid of it right away, watched longer, or just skipped the ad right away. And then it says conversions here. It didn't track any conversions. It's possible I didn't get any. Now let me show you the clicks. I have to add my click column here. So give me a second. I don't know why Google doesn't show clicks by default, but if you ever need to, you have to go up to columns to kind of add some of the extra columns in for you right there. So the clicks on that, not bad. So it was 9 clicks after people watched my video for $32. And where I was taking them was straight to a list of properties in my market. And I don't believe, go check my leads, I don't believe those 9 people turned into any leads. Now, does this worry me? I think this is something that a lot of people would just give up on right away. Hey, I got 9 clicks and I spent $30 and didn't get any leads. And no, it doesn't worry me at all. And I think this speaks to the kind of mindset that you need to have with this kind of online lead generation stuff, this building of funnels where you're driving traffic to a capture page. All this tells me at this point is that I'm gathering data and seeing if this idea is viable. And what this tells me is that this is a nice interaction rate. I'm getting clicks for about $3.50 a piece, which is totally acceptable to me off of this video ad, because I know that with optimization, I can get that click rate down. It's probably going to come down. I can probably get it in the $2 range if I really tried. And then now what I know I need to do, if I haven't had a lead yet, is I probably just need to change the capture point that I'm using. So right now I'm just sending them over to a list of properties, and I'm hoping that the pop-up on the site will turn them into a lead. Oh, and guys, boy, see, this is the thing. You got to be willing to spend money and screw up. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing here in a minute. And I'm just remembering right now that I may have registration turned off. I think I turned it on yesterday, but I may have registration turned off across the site. So, so anyway, first stage of this was to test the idea, get the video creative made, and see if I can generate clicks and views. This has been validated in my mind that in under a day, I've got 9 people who live in California to click over and go to my website in Florida. Now, I'm expecting these leads to cost me a lot to begin with, because it's kind of a stretch to expect somebody to actually want to move all the way across the country. But as I said yesterday, if they do actually come here and they get on a plane and they fly out here, I'm probably their agent if I start doing if I start building the relationship now and having conversations with them online. So here was the ad again for those of you guys who weren't here yesterday. Let's bring it up. It was 40 seconds, and it basically just says, hey, if you're thinking about moving out of California, come on over here. The other thing I can do to optimize this ad as well is I can start to go into the targeting options in the audience and do it by age range. I could also only run my YouTube ad on specific channels. Right now I'm doing it to anybody who's in market real estate based on what Google knows, but you can start to refine that down and get your costs down. So does this make sense to everybody? I know it's a little bit of a continuation of yesterday's episode. Maybe you want to go back and watch that one. If you haven't watched it yet, it'll be right in the playlist and our replays yesterday. And I'll show in that yesterday what I did was I showed the actual construction of the campaign that I'm talking about right now. But I feel that the idea for me in day one into this is that the idea is validated. Yes, I can get impressions, views, and clicks around this idea. So Dan's asking, is this Google or YouTube? Good question. Google's YouTube ads are run out of Google's platform. So this is the Google Ads account. And then what I'm doing is I'm running a video campaign. And when you run a video campaign, generally it's going to be on YouTube. I think you can also put it on their display network. But yeah, the video campaign is going to be on YouTube. Here's another one I'd done earlier for an open house, a test. That was back in March, right? That got some views right there for a specific open house, 8 cents. So you can invite people to your open house this weekend who live in your zip code. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with this platform. And I think the assumption is you just need to be not too shy about putting your balding head, in my case, on a video for people to watch, and just kind of be yourself and invite them. I did the ad yesterday. Here's what it is right here. My head was already hurting like 5 minutes in the Florida sun doing the video outside. And you just get on the camera and say, hey, here's what I'm about. I'm a real estate agent. Here's the thing that I'd like to talk to you about. You should go over to my website and check it out. It's doesn't need to be overthought. And yeah, Dan, I didn't have the hat, so it was really hurting my head. All right. So I hope this helps everybody. Maybe I'll direct you to go watch yesterday's episode. But that's kind of the spirit of these webinars from day to day. I'm just we're playing with new ideas. We're kind of have a theme every day, and this is a continuation of yesterday. Now, if anybody who's listening live has anything you'd like me to explore for the rest of the episode today, I can do that. I just wanted to talk a little bit about conversion rates. They come up all the time. People ask, hey, what are the conversion rates on this lead source? It's a very, very tough topic for us to answer internally. You know, people say, what are the conversion rates on Property Boost? What are they on Facebook lead ads? What are they on Google? And the answer we always give is we have pretty good confidence. This is based on a lot of kind of data and what we've seen from following up on our own leads, me and other agents who work at the company who have used the product. For me, talking to a lot of other people is, you know, it's pretty safe to say that 1 out of 100 times, 1%, you're going to get somebody who comes off a Property Boost lead or a Facebook lead, or they came in from Google. It's higher with Google because there's more intent. And they're just going to be ready. Like they're just going to be like, yo, I need to move this weekend. Get me some financing. I'm already pre-approved. When can I get in your car? Can you show me a house tonight? Like this happens, you know, it just naturally happens. It's a numbers game. And I think when people ask, what are the conversion rates? That's what they're hoping to hear, is they want to know how many people are going to do that when I spend money today. But the truth is, it's only about 1%, right? It's like if you spend $100 on Property Boost leads, and your leads coming in at, just call it an average of $5 or $6 a piece. That might be high in some cases. You know, it's going to cost you about $500 to find that like good, ready to go body. So, you know, but at $500, that's, you're doing, if you can close it, maybe you only close 1 and 2 of those, right? And you're at $1,000. I'm doing really rough math here, right? That's still better on most transaction sizes than paying a 25 or 30% referral fee, right? Plus, you've got the other. You're still incubating, My caps lock is on. The other 99%, and that other 99% of leads, a percentage of those will close in the next 12 to 36 months. You know, maybe another 2%, 2% in 12 months. Call it 3% in 24 months. These are assumptions, you know, and call it 4% in 36 months. But this assumes that you're doing all the things. And what are the things? Leave my caps lock. I look like a serial killer. So you're doing all the things. What are all the things? Well, let's look at the calculator app I have right here. So I'm going to transition over there. And I've built this little app that I've shown from time to time here. For those of you guys who missed it, I was busy. I'll have to do this when we're done applying for this job here on this attractive looking job in the session. So I need to leave that up. I don't want to get rid of that. Shows calculator. So the things for follow-up, I have this little calculator. It's at insiderealestate.com/calculator. And the things would be the how are you following up section here. So if you just only do like KV Core's built-in stuff where it does that automatic behavioral follow-up and it tries to find, set up automatic search alerts on its own without you setting them up, then that's when I'm talking about kind of this 1%. You see here, your 12-month conversion rate. I'm actually setting that as 0.5%. So if you don't do anything and you just pay to have leads come into the system, and you hope that the system is just going to magically turn people into hot bodies who want to work with you right away, I'm putting it at a 0.5% conversion rate and then adjusting that up to 1% with this tool. Now, if you start to do some of the other things, my favorite, we talked about this a lot on these sessions, is setting up KV Core's automatic search alerts, which you can do by going to Lead Engine right here. And you go to, not Lead Engine, I always do that. You go to Marketing Autopilot, sorry, and then you go to Search Alerts right here. And if you just make sure that you, for any source you have coming in, anything you're paying for money or any effort you're putting into generating leads, that you attach one of these automated search alerts. So when that hashtag comes in for that lead type, they automatically get some kind of lead. You should do that for any source you have. If you add that on, so you add it here, I'm saying that should double your results. And I think that's pretty conservative. I think if somebody gets properties from you every day in their email, or at least once a week, and they see your name associated with real estate and they click through and re-engage with your website, if you just do that part, you should double your results. That's so much better than doing nothing, right? So you get up to 1%. Now, if you're doing a tailored smart campaign, and I should have qualified as that kind of isn't very generic. It kind of adds some value, gives like useful tips, gives them like interesting property search links. You put some attention in the KV Core Smart campaign. You know, I'm layering it on and saying, hey, your conversion rate's going to go up to $1.5%. Then I'm adding another 0.5%. These are all just rough assumptions, guys. But say you call and email every lead manually really quickly. So this is even if you're using something like Core Concierge or you're doing it yourself, you have an ISA. Let's put that up to 2%. I use Core Concierge, actually the separate one, so I'm giving it there. So I'm going to leave that one off just for now. And then this one right here is probably where the big difference comes in. I mass email or text one piece of unique content weekly, something unique, a video of you doing a property tour, you email and you say, hey, here's a cool property search you should check out. It's motivated sellers in this zip code. I think this zip code's, this area of town is going to pop from an investment perspective. Like you get really deep on the market and you send something really kind of insider, like here's what we're seeing, nitty gritty that they're not going to find anywhere else on the web that you as the expert locally can give them. If you do this once a week, I'm saying this drastically will increase your conversion rates. And I don't think these numbers are out of whack where there are some people who can take 4% of their leads, run it through a process and really get, maybe 10% of people talking to them and then close, over turn a lot of those into business. Maybe it's too optimistic, but I'm putting it at 4%. And then if you go through this calculator and you say, okay, well, I know I got these numbers. Now I know that my average side is 250. My net commission after I pay my broker or whatever, you know, I'm grossing out 2% here, netting out 2% here. And then it just does a quick little kind of value per lead. And it does 12, the amount you'll earn per lead generated, and then gives some ROI numbers in 12 months and in 3 months. So for every dollar you spend on leads, you'll get this many dollars back in 12 months or in 3 years is what this calculator attempts to do. So spend $1, get back 32. That's on the high end. Let's uncheck some of these. Let's just say we only do the KV Core search alerts. Spend $1, get back 7 on the conversion side. So you guys, I've had some people challenge me on these numbers, and I've always said, hey, yeah, this is based. I've been in the industry 20 years. I've done a lot of leads myself, and I talk to a lot of people. But the reason why I can't say, hey, this is what it is across the board is because most, you know, it's the 95-5, right? The top producers are 5%, 95. It's the same. It's like 80-20, and then another 80-20 of that 80-20. Most people are only up here. They're only checking one of these boxes. They're not really going. They're not too consistent with any of this other stuff. Maybe they've got somebody calling their leads for them. You know, very, very, very few are down here sending some unique piece of content like a machine every week. So the reason I can't say, hey, across the board, here's the conversion rates that we have, you know, across everybody is going to be low. I'm going to have to say, hey, it's 1%. Like if you just do nothing, 1 out of 100 people are just going to, they're going to want to work with you. But if you start to layer on this stuff, I have to go into this whole diatribe that I've been doing the last 10 minutes and say, hey, if you start to make some of these assumptions, man, this is a really lucrative, exciting business to be in, right? And I think some of the people out there who've been doing online lead generation, some of the top producers who I see spending, I was just on the phone with a guy who's been spending $5,000 a month with us on Google PPC alone, requiring phone numbers, which makes his leads a lot more. It's doing it month after month, and we asked him today, says, how are these leads? Like, oh yeah, usually we get 6 to, he said it's come down a little, but usually we get about 6 people like qualified and working with us, you know, every month. So the numbers are just exciting. This stuff really does work, guys. But if you're wanting a base number of like, hey, if I go buy Property Boost, I'm going to get 10% of people to buy a house from me the next year. We just can't do that for you. But just do the math and think about it. And what it comes down to is the consistency, large sample sizes on the number of leads that you have, and layering in some other follow-up stuff. So I hope this helps everybody. Nobody's commented in the chat. Nobody's told me to shut up or challenge these numbers, but I really hope this helps you guys. And if you want to share this video with somebody else at your office, or if you hear this number coming up, maybe you're trying to convince a lender, for example, or you want your broker to spend more on lead generation, and they're asking you, well, what can I expect out of this? I think this would be a good 10 minutes of video to direct them to. This is the best way I know how to answer the question. Okay, cool. So that's about it that I had for today. We're about 20 minutes in. Does anybody have anything at all that you'd like to have kind of talked about and addressed? I did get a question, Bob, from you, right? I think about Core Concierge in particular. All we can say is that their numbers are holding true. What they quote is that they're able to get about 27% of leads to say, yes, I want to talk to an agent, which is pretty good. It's called 1 in 4 of leads that come in who go to the concierge. They're able to get like somebody to actually reply to a text or an email and say, hey, I want to talk. Like they give you the consistency. Yes, put me in touch with an agent. I have some questions. And then you got to work your numbers back from there. So, you know, Core Concierge just becomes one of those things that you can layer in that increases those conversion numbers. But I got to be honest, man, I just know this from personal. You could do just this. I would do the auto search alerts, and you know it's always going to be the behaviorals. But just these three right here, if you do this down here, and you do a property tour of the week where you're walking through a house and you're having some personality and you're demonstrating your expertise, so much leverage in just doing this right here. Try to do something weekly. Watch some Gary Vee videos. Don't listen to me. Go watch some Gary Vee videos. This is more or less what he's talking about right here. Get some content out there. So Dan's asking a good question. Are you doing this through KV Core or outside of KV Core? So Dan, yes. So this would all be what you can do with KV Core. So I'll take it back. You said you missed yesterday's session. So the actual video ads that I'm running, I'm creating those myself. I'm going and getting my phone out. I used my laptop yesterday, and I'm recording a video. Now you could use our core video solution, but I just get the video on YouTube, and then I'm using Google's ads platform to run that, if that answers your question. And then the click goes to my KV Core site. So KV Core becomes the lead capture tool. If you're asking about the calculator exercise I just went through, yeah, this is all kind of referencing KV Core. And the mass email and mass text, yeah, that's KV Core functionality. So I would just go in here. Guys, your revenue will go through the roof. I talked to a broker last week. He's got 13 ISAs or something, 200 agents, really has a good operation, really chugging along, generating a lot of leads in the system. And all I could tell him was, hey, go do a webinar once a week. You could do that too. And invite everybody in your database. Do this, right? So check everybody off, or just, the hashtags that are relevant, but it's going to be most of them. Check everybody off and do this. Click mass email, right? And do first time buyers webinar. This is the subject line. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Do this, right? Hi, we're doing first time home buyers webinar over a live Zoom call tomorrow. We'll say it's Tuesday. Wednesday. Yeah, we'll do tomorrow, Thursday, October 15th at 9 p.m. East, right, in your local time zone. This, if you want to join us, here's the link. Right, just this link. Ryan Hartman, right? My company. P.S. Feel free to share this invite and link with any friends or family. PSs are so important. Everybody reads the PS. With any friends or family that you think might want to buy a house sometime soon, right? So it's reminding them they can forward this along. Send this email once a week and have a new topic that you're going live on Zoom with to your whole database, and your conversion rates will skyrocket. Promise you, they'll skyrocket, especially if you're getting on a live Zoom and people can do what you're doing with me right now. You're basically, you guys all know who I am. You hear my voice every day, right? Bugging me on Facebook. I didn't reach out and chase you. You're chasing me. The same exact effect will happen for you. You'll have people PMing you on Facebook saying, dude, I want to buy a house. Like, hey, my cousin, I need a mortgage. Do you think I can get a mortgage? Like, here's my situation. My credit's awful. It's only 750. Isn't that your favorite? Like, people are like, I've got some bad credit, and they tell you it's like a 720 credit score or something like that. Stuff can start happening if you do this content piece once a week. And to me, the easiest thing, of course, I'm a little practiced, but you could get used to doing this. Just hop on a Zoom. Have a couple slides ready to go about your topic. It's just 4 or 5 slides. And you of course, as an expert in the industry, you know way more about this topic. You can come up with 5 bullet points about the things people need to do to buy their first home. You can come up with that in 30 minutes. You could have a nice slide deck ready to go once a week. So, yeah, I went off of the tangent, but that's what I'm talking about when I say, hey, mass email or mass text, and it'll bump up your conversion rates. You're just going into the Smart CRM, checking off those audiences, and shooting out a mass texting, but either sending them directly the recording of the webinar or inviting them. Now, a good cadence for the webinar, while I'm kind of going on this tangent here, it's actually an excuse to email 3 times if you think about it. It's because the 3 times, the 3 excuses you have, 3 excuses to email around a webinar, right? I'm not calling them excuses, but the reason I'm calling them excuses is because you want to send stuff that doesn't feel like spam, and this isn't something that people would be upset about. Email 1, the webinar invite. Email 2, the webinar reminder. That's like a couple hours prior, right? Email 3, hey, here's the replay, right? In case you missed it, which most people will, right? So even if they didn't register for the webinar, you're still going to send them the replay link. So you can email 3 times a week if you want, if you do it in a really cool way and you're always adding value. And you can get into this cadence where they just expect you to invite them up to a new webinar with some really interesting real estate content. First-time investors, some topics. First-time buyers, first-time investors, how to sell your small house and move into a bigger house, how to downsize, right? First-time grant programs available in our market. You get your lender on for that one. How to build a portfolio how to use the VA loan to build a portfolio of investment properties. There's all kinds of cool stuff we can do just around, you can just do a webinar. It's like, hey, this Wednesday I'm doing a webinar. I'm going to show you the 5 best deals in St. Pete, Florida right now that I think should sell tomorrow that are best investment deals for a buy and hold investor. You just come on and show 5 properties, and that's your webinar. So, man, I got jazzed up here about this idea, but this is the key, guys. I think there's a lot of gold in these hills right there. So let's see if there's any questions. Send those 3 emails a week. At least send the one inviting them. Another cool thing, as we're experiencing here firsthand, is Zoom will actually remind people too. If they do register, it'll remind them every week. A little hack there is to set up your webinar so that it repeats like 30 times, throughout the year. And if they register once, it keeps reminding them. And that's kind of what's happening to you guys. If you're watching this webinar, you probably registered and you get reminded every week. And the reason I've had low attendance the last few days is that something with that flow, I forgot to add more webinars to the end, and I think it confused Zoom or something, bro. Okay. So yeah, the Google ads are outside of KV Core, Dan. The ones that I'm running, I manually did. That wasn't done as an advertising service through our team. So that's just something that I showed to do as a tutorial. Ernest, what's up? You can always come live, Ernest, by the way. If you want to just join me, I don't care. You just come on live. But do you have any recommendations for agents wanting seller leads? Ernest, I don't want to tell anybody what to do there. I don't want to share that. Any recommendations for agents wanting seller leads or Google ads? So I think the video would be really good. We need to try this out. But I think a video like I did yesterday that says, hey, are you thinking about selling your house? And if you can twist the knife a little and say, I'm saying specifically right now, it looks like a lot of people might need to sell their houses soon because of forbearance. If you want to play like the kind of macro economic angle. And if you're thinking about selling your house before you're competing, and there's a lot of supply on the market, give me a call. That would be a cool video to do right now, I think. So that would be a Google ads. But I think Ernest is referring to how to do Google ads with Google search PPC. And I'm kind of kidding around. I don't really want to give away those keywords, and because then everybody will be using them. But if you kind of have some common sense and you think about it, they're going to be keywords like, I'll just give you one, sell house fast. So if somebody's Googling that, you'll see that you're going to have a lot of the investor guys wanting to buy your house fast. But you don't see a lot of agents there, do you? Right? Those were all investors, and HomeLight was there, OfferPad's there. So these are all investors. So I don't see a lot of residential real estate brokerages going after those keywords. And your ad could basically be before you sell too low to an investor, right? Because that's mostly who they're going to encounter, is somebody wanting to make them a low, a wholesale offer. Before you take a low wholesale offer from an investor, talk to me. I can sell your house fast at max out, something like that. So that would be, Ernest, to answer that question, that would be where I'd point people. But there's a group of keywords that if you can see here, if you just type that in, that's basically it. And then you could take them to the Find Your Home Value page on conversion on KV Core. But just some advice, I would take them to something like more of a custom form, maybe a landing page, like just taking them to sell.php, like our main sell. I don't know how well that's going to convert for you because it says find your home's value instantly. Like they could get their value right away, but that's not really what they want. They want to sell fast. So you might want to build a landing page that says, enter your email to get a full 20-page report. That's one of my favorite angles that shows what a buyer might pay for your house in today's market. And I'll also give you, a 10-minute video that explains, how I can get your house sold in the next 2 months. Because in this market, you kind of can. If you price it right, in many of the markets right now, you actually could sell somebody's house, have pretty good confidence that at the right market price that you're going to get an offer in a couple of weeks. So Dan's asking, so in the videos you said do one per week and then use them in your ad? Okay, yeah, maybe I'm going a little bit in circles. So the YouTube campaign that I'm talking about, that is not something you do every week. That's when you have a lead generation idea. So this campaign was about generating a lead fresh. So if you have an angle or an idea, you want to talk about an open house you're having, or trying to get somebody from a state outside of where you are, you want to get people to sell their house, that you're not doing every week. You're using those ads to get people to click to your site and become leads. Now, once they're leads, then you're going to want to do some kind of valuable video every week video, it could be an email that gives them some kind of information about the market. It could be a specific listing. It could be, hey, here's my recommended property search of the week. It's motivated sellers. It could be an invite to a webinar, as I just said. So that would be the thing you send every week, is some kind of engaging content to the people who are already leads. Now, there's a good chance that some of that content you create in order to mail out into mass email and mass text could also be used in retargeting efforts, in retargeting ads. And now that I think about it, I don't have that in my calculator. I don't have retargeting on here, but you could be running those YouTube and Facebook videos as retargeted ads as well. So I realize people come just all new to this stuff. You're a totally new agent. You've never done digital advertising. This could be overwhelming, all this stuff. Just keep it one step at a time. Get one lead source coming into KB Core and set up your property search alerts. But get that done, and that'll get you pretty far. One good source, whether it's a product you order from us in Marketplace, or you're paying for Zillow, or whatever you're doing, anything that's kind of good. Maybe it's even leads that your broker's referring to you. Just get really good about following up with auto search alerts, and start to layer in some of this other stuff one at a time. You don't have to do it all at once, but the key to increasing your conversion does lie in all these extra things. Yep. So Dan's asking, so those searches you do, yeah, actually, where do they appear? They appear on YouTube. Let me try to go into a new incognito window and go to YouTube. So somebody's on YouTube. They're trying to watch a Fortnite video or something.
Do not let them take away.
Good, perfect. There's the president. Yeah, the ex-president. So I just picked a random video, and you can see here he's giving a message right here about voting. It says the ad will end in 5 seconds down at the bottom right. So your ad, you can show an ad that does this to people. It says, hey, if you live in Tampa, Florida, and you're thinking about selling your house, but you're not sure if now's the right time, here's the reason why it might be the right time. You give a little bit of value, and then if you want to get into the market and get your house in the market before there's a flood of supply, as forbearances end, there's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know if it's going to happen or not. So, just qualify all that. But if you're thinking along those lines and you want to get your house in the market right now, click, and I'll give you a 20+ page report that shows you what your house will sell for. And also we can talk about, how I'll get it sold in the next week. Yeah, so, good question, Dan. So Dan's saying, does it always run full screen? Yeah, it'll run right here as a video. And they have an option to also show it. See the blocks over to the right? It'll also sometimes show like right here. It will do that. There's actually a little kind of option that you can turn on and off that says whether you want to do it here or not. But yeah, it just starts playing. So if you have a good, one of the reasons, one of the reasons I like doing raw, just me on camera, is because it's kind of like different. It's just a real human sitting there talking to you. And if you notice, a lot of the ads are just a person talking to you. Here's, Barack Obama's just sitting there talking to me. If you get some local real estate agent talking to you direct, there's a good chance in your local market, a lot of the people watching are going to know who you are. They're going to have seen your signs around town. They're going to have gone to high school with you. And you can just start talking to people about real estate right in their stream, right away, right on YouTube. And you can do the same thing on Facebook. It's amazing. So yeah, that's it right there. And then the view, remember I said before that a view, like the impression, I'm waiting for the clock to go down. The ad will end. Okay, that wasn't a good example, but they're going to show me another ad. Some of the ads will run, that was a 5-second ad snippet, but some of them will run like 30 seconds like mine, or 48 seconds. If the person keeps watching the ad, that's when you get charged. And then you give them the link to click your website. You do that when you run the ad, Dan. So if you watch the episode from yesterday, I showed that when I ran the ad, but basically it's in the wizard in YouTube. It just says, hey, what's your YouTube URL? What video do you want to show? And then where do you want to take them? And you put that in the box. It's pretty straightforward. Yep. And then you can see in my video, I actually overlaid the video with, I overlaid it with my short URL, which is 727 real estate deals here, right here. So a little extra hack. You can see I kind of put a little text over. So if they want to, they can go to that URL and that'll capture leads for me. So it's not clickable, but and then you take them to the same place or a different URL straight away. Oops. So yeah, that's about what I got for today. Anybody else have any other questions? If not, we can get going. Some stuff about YouTube ads, some stuff about increasing conversions. Hope you're all going and making some slides for some webinars right now. You got to do this, guys. It's so easy. Just recurring webinars with the audience. So really not hard to do. You can have guests on. You can have your home inspector on one week. You can have a business owner. You can just say have somebody who does home design or staging. You can have the local restaurant owner on and say, hey, I'm just doing a webinar. It's not about real estate this week. Doesn't always need to be about real estate, right? It's not about real estate this week, but I'm having my buddy over at the restaurant down the street on. He's going to talk about the ins and outs of owning and running a restaurant in our market. If you're interested, come join us for the chat. So anything that just gets you in front of the camera, engaging with your KB Core leads and audience will help conversions over time. So, okay. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. As always, I'll get the recordings up live at insiderealestate.com/webinars. Don't forget to check us out in the Facebook group, insiderealestate.com/Facebook group. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button and hit the notification bell. And you'll always be notified as we post the replays. And that's it. We'll get going for today. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye-bye.